Hey, what's good, fam? It's Tuesdays with Tawana. What's going on? What's going on? Good to be here. One more Tuesday to chop it up with you, building community, one Womanist episode at a time. Hey, Mother Carolyn, always good to see you. Thank you for joining. What's up, Rock? What's good? It's always good to see you, beloved. You will always hold a special place in my heart, for sure, for sure. Yeah, so let's get it popping. I'm Dr. Tad, your host and your curator for Tuesdays with Tawana. If you are here for the first time, welcome. Hey, Tony, my little sister, my little big sister, because she be looking out for me, dropping that knowledge for me. If you are here for the first time, it's not about me talking for the next 30 minutes. It is about engaging so that we can build community together. You just pop your comment in the chat, and then I will insert your comment into this narrative for sure. Tony said I was live for TWT just to hear your voice and to see your beautiful face. Bless you, beloved. Right back at you. I may not be able to hear your voice, but I did get to talk to you on the phone the other day, and I am so grateful that you are in my life. So thank you. And my dear friend, my classmate from Board of Examiners, my friend for life, the Reverend Foster, who continues to show up and show out and show me love. He sees me, honors me, checks in on me, and he is serving this country. He's leading and doing great things for us, and we're so grateful for you. You are my friend for forever, for life. I'm so grateful. So, Pammy, what's up? Good to see you. And so, I name names and I acknowledge folk because you don't have to be here. I'm sure there are 50 million things that you could be doing right now. You might even be multitasking right now, but you are taking the time to engage in this dialogue of building community, centering Black beloved, centering Black women, because we look to ourselves for our own liberation. That's the womanist way, because no one else can liberate us because they're not free. You can't free folk if you're not free, right? It doesn't happen. You can't give what you don't have, which is why it's so important we have these moments and we have these opportunities for us to learn and to grow and to build and to get our communities tightened up so we realize that the power that we have, because the power that we have can fight the forces that are always against us, and we can shift the atmosphere. That's how powerful we are. So today, our theme for today is God responds, and it dropped in my spirit, and I was like, well, I really want to do something like manifest that ish, and just chop it up about our power and how we can manifest stuff. And I guess God was like, nah, I'm not going to let you let this one go. God responds. So let me go back for a minute. I was telling you about last Friday, I shared with you that, last Tuesday, I shared with you that I was to go in for a procedure. I had to have a lung biopsy because they found some nodules on my lung, my left lung. And when I went in on Friday, my village was praying for me. My pain had went away totally. And so I go in on Friday, and what they do is for a lung biopsy, because it was a bit more invasive because of where it was located. They were located. I had to do a CAT scan so that they can map out how they were going to go in through my side to do the lung biopsy. So I go in through the CAT scan, and I come back out, and the doctor comes out and he says, "Good news, we don't have to do the biopsy." And I'm like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, your nodules, most of them are gone. And the two that are left, one is like a dot, literally, like if you take a pen on a piece of paper and just do a dot, it's that small. And the other one shrunk substantially, and it's too small to do a biopsy. So, what we'll do is, because we always want to take care of you and we don't want to take anything for granted, because cancer is unpredictable and quite just disrespectful, we are going to schedule another CAT scan in a couple of weeks, just to make sure that those other nodules are gone or continuing to shrink. So I walk back out, and my daughter and my son was there, my dear friend Missy was there, and we just praise God. Yeah, we were astounded, and grateful. Yes, thank you, Rock. Absolutely. All praise, celebration, all that. And yes, God is awesome. And today, what happens when in our limited physical minds, what happens when we deem that God is not awesome, right? Because I have been doing this for 6 years, right? So going on 7. In November, it'll be 7 years that I have survived recurrences, several surgeries, several near-death experiences. Yes, all praise, right? And what happens when, some people might say, well, why do you have cancer to begin with? How can you, be filled with so much joy? You're going through so much pain. You experience pain almost every day. And how can you, say God is awesome, or, God provides, or God responds? And sometimes I answer, sometimes I don't. It depends on the context and the person and the situation, because I live out loud by example. So if you journey with me on this healing course, then you will experience how and why I do the things that I do, and how I show up in this world to encourage others to show up in this world in the same way or a similar way in their context. So no, I don't rub on the genie lamp and pray that my nodules would just go away. Of course, I pray for healing, whatever that looks like for me and the Most High. I pray for being able to be an example of God's grace and mercy. I pray for strength and wisdom and courage to be able to share my story, whether it's good or not so good. So when I talk about, God responds, yes, God responded to my situation favorably for me, right? For others, it may be, I can't walk, but I have the ability to breathe. So God favors me, or God responded to my prayer. I was able to see my children one more time. I was able to see the sunrise. So it's not always this rigid, linear way of thinking. That is very white supremacist thought. That's white power. That's power over. That's why other people cannot liberate us, because they're stuck in this conundrum of fuckery that continues to degrade and demean and harm and dehumanize other people, because that's all they know how to do. From the beginning and the inception of this country and beyond, the conquest, the winning, it's about me, it's about the money and capitalism. And I don't care about you as a human being. So we have to look to ourselves and redefine what healing looks like, what liberation looks like, what community looks like, what opportunities look like, what grace looks like, what mercy looks like, what sharing looks like, what loving beyond measure and loving with unconditional positive regard. So when I talk about God responds, we know God, Allah, the Most High, the universe, Mother Earth. We know all of these beloveds to be healing, to be a provider, to be a protector, to be a waymaker, to be a rock, to be, the calm in the midst of the storm, to be wisdom, to be a forgiver, to be all of these things, right? And Mother Carolyn says, yes, redefine healing, and this is what living our best life looks like. And we have the power to define that. So we know the Most High and spirit to be all of these things to us. But what happens when we name or deem God as one who responds? And then what is God responding to? Is it the rubbing the genie lamp and asking for 3 wishes? Is it the birthday wish when I blow out the candles? Is it those things, or is it more than that? Is God responding according to what is happening in our world and what is best for us? And we don't even know that it is best for us. We might have to go through some growing pains. We may have to go through some stuff. We may have to be the seed that was buried in the ground because they thought they were killing us, but they were actually burying a seed so that we can grow and that we can share in a part of life-giving efforts. So it's not necessarily that God responded to my prayer of shrinking my nodules. My prayer is, God, have your way. My prayer is, God, be present in this moment. And because I trust you, God, because I trust you, universe, because I trust you, Mother Earth, to do what needs to be done to give me the things that I need to heal, I am going to avail myself and not necessarily ask for anything specific, because that specific thing might not be what's best for me. Because my thoughts are not God's thoughts. My ways are not God's ways. And if I truly believe that God is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the creator, the one who knows all and is everywhere, then how dare I put God in a box to respond in a way that I want God to respond, and not trust in the way that God is responding to my needs. My God, today. Yes, God. God's response may not be our request, but it is God's will. Yes, Pammy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Pammy. Shit, you better preach. Mother Carolyn said there are things we can't know until we know. That is what builds trust. Thank you for saying that, Mother, because I was going to go into the divine in us. So now we talk about this universal God, this God that created the heavens and earth, the God that created the seas and the mountains, the God that created us, that knew us before we were even born, knows the number of hairs on our heads, knows every cell, every molecule, everything, every fingerprint. God knows all of these things. But how do we then equate that to the God in us? So although we may not be the do all, be all, end all, know all, is everywhere and everything to everybody. There is a spirit in us because we are created in the image and likeness of the Most High. We have the power to be able to shift the atmosphere that works for our good and works for the good of our community without us rubbing the lamp for the genie to answer our questions. We then partner with God, if you will, and ask God to posit in us, how shall I respond to this harmful situation? Give me the words to respond to the patriarchy and the misogynoir and the violence that is happening to me and my community every single day. Where should I position myself? How shall I show up? What community are you going to gather around me so that when I speak truth to power, I do not fear? I come with a divine prowess along with my people to say, no, you may take away affirmative action in colleges and universities because this is a part of your plan. Your plan actually started years ago. Years ago, when we were called welfare queens and we were dehumanized and redlining and not being able to buy homes. And then you just took it to the next level when you overturned Roe versus Wade. And then you took it to the next level when you put these people of position in power who is taking away history books because of their own guilt and shame, because of what they have done, because of harm they have caused us. They want to erase that so that they can continue to be emperors of the kingdom, right? So, and then now you want to take away affirmative action, but our community, the trillions of dollars that we spend, our divine prowess that we have is well beyond and over what you white supremacists thought, white power, racist, what you try to do. You have tried to harm us for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, and we are still standing because of our divine prowess, because God responds to our needs. Now, if we don't respond in turn, then things don't seem to manifest. We start to get angry, but then sometimes we got to check ourselves and say, well, did I listen? Did I not pay attention to the red flags? Did I not listen to that small voice that said to me, Tawana, don't do it? Or Tawana, go this way? Or Tawana, go forth? But I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And when it doesn't turn out the way I wanted it to turn out, then I'm mad at God and I'm mad at community and I'm mad at my people because they didn't tell me. But in fact, they did tell me. I just didn't listen. Not just listen, but I didn't listen with my whole being. Let's see what folk have to say in the chat. Forgive me if I skip anyone, because this thing is, okay, I got that one. Let's see what Mother Carolyn has to say. There are things, we did that. We cannot know until we know. Let's see. Too many times we forget that God lives inside us, which is the power that gives us what we need and the way we need it. Absolutely, Mother Carolyn. And we got to know that power. We can't give in to these ills of society and allowing them to define who we are. You know, Audre Lorde, the Honorable, the late Audre Lorde, still lives with us because she says, if I don't define myself, I will then be crunched into other people's fantasies and eaten alive. And that is not about to happen to us or for us. The plan started in and before 1619, and yet God continues to show up with the power show up with the power and shifts their plans. However, we are still here. We are still here. We are still here, beloved. We are still here as divine human beings. Oh, Smokey is in the building. Oh, congratulations, beautiful Tawana. I'm so happy for you and hearing the great news. I heart you and I heart you too, beloved. Pammy said, you are preaching your face off today. Listen. I can't help it. I can't help it because this is what building community is about. What good is it if I hold on to my story, whether it's my story of my cancer journey, my domestic violence journey, growing up in Wagner projects, being a victim of sexual assault, or working in the corporate world and working as an executive pastor and starting my own nonprofit that is still going. I'm the executive director. What good is it if I don't share all of those things as the divine human being that I am and share it with others? Whether you are still living in the projects or you have opportunities that not other people have because opportunities are not equitable in this country. If you know the right person and you can get in the right door, you might make it happen. But there are other people that may not know folk and who seem stuck, who feel stuck, who only experience being stuck. And building community helps to release and free us from the definitions of other people that deem us as if we deserve lack. We deserve lack of access. We deserve being sick and being ill. I'm sick and tired of people blaming us for our illnesses when our diet is the way it is because of what you oppressors did to us. We had to create something out of nothing. We had to create these meals. And now that we have the internet and we have all these things, now we can experience differently. Now we can cut salt out of our diet. Now we can add more plant-based foods. But after years and years and years of eating foods that weren't good for us or living in communities where you would build, as a matter of fact, in Harlem right now, they just put some big truck stop on 145th Street as if we needed more pollution and more unclean air in our areas, which has caused asthma for just insurmountable numbers. It's unbelievable. And yet you want to blame us for our ills. And sometimes we blame ourselves and we got to let that go. And God will respond. Let it go and God will pour into us what we need. Let it go and God will respond by giving us villages like this. Let it go and release it so that God can pour into you what it is that you need, what you need to say, what you need to do, how you need to show up, honor yourself, love yourself, take care of yourself, do all of those things, because then you can teach other people how to do that. And if we do that for one another as Black beloveds, oh, we could shut this down. We could shut this down. We could shut this down buying from our own supermarkets and buying from Black businesses and offering scholarships, because now without affirmative action, how are our students going to get the education that they well deserve and worked very hard for? Because now these schools are going to use that to say, well, now we don't have to accept X amount of Black or, BIPOC communities. Now we can keep it as white as possible. But you know what? Our HBCUs, they've always been on the come up, but now you're realizing, world, that they're on the come up. And now we will be the ones, oh, you went to Howard? Oh, you went to Tuskegee? Oh, you went to this school? Oh, you went to that HBCU? It's going to be synonymous with, unfortunately, I don't need it to be synonymous because we're not trying to keep up with Yale and Harvard and all that. It's all well that you went there. That's nice. Okay, great. But honoring our Black beloveds, our Black educators, those who are teaching us how to love ourselves and to go against the grain and against societal ills so that we can live and not die at the hands of these societal ills. God responds. God is all of these things, as I mentioned earlier: healer, provider, sustainer, guide, comforter. And God is a responder, a first responder, a first responder that can then do all the other things that I have mentioned. So let me read a few of these beautiful comments, and then I'm actually going to shift glasses because, yeah, it's a lot of stuff to read. Hey, Tammy, no worry. No worries being late. Thank you. My niece, my mentor, my business partner, my all the things. Pammy said, "Oh yeah, we did the preaching the face off today. Oh, let's see what my beloved has to say. We are not just living for ourselves; we are also living for God. And in our job-like experiences, we live for God and for others. Full stop. Full stop. We're not just living for ourselves. We don't live individualistic. Our African traditional religions teach us and talk about Ubuntu and how we are inextricably bound. Our spirits, our souls. I am because you are. Absolutely. Thank you. Hey, what's up, Jan? Amen for continued healing, beloved. Absolutely. I am so grateful. Pammy said we need to keep our women in Harlem in prayer. Truck stops are a prominent part of sex trafficking. Oh, Rock said mention Hampton U. Yeah, is that the real HU, Rock? Pammy, I got to sit with your comment for a moment. That was powerful. I have been wearing a Trust in God bracelet to remind me that not to be blinded by the evil signs of this world. My eldest son is sick and needs prayers. I am having the hardest time to turn it over to God. Yes, and Smokey, if I may add, you have a village and there's God in each one of us. So my prayer is that your village will then surround you to help you to be able to be the mother, because to be the mother, to feel all the feels, to lament, to ask God the hard questions and do all those things, because God will respond. Now, how God will respond, I'm not God, can't say how God is going to respond, but you, as the beloved divine human being that you are, you can lament, you can pour out. Get your village to console you and to comfort you as if God's arms were just wrapping around you. That is what community is about. And it's one of the hardest things for a parent to watch a child go through an adverse situation. So my God, the village is with you. We are sending love and light to you. Your healing, your son's healing, and may God respond to your need at this time. Yes, Mother said God is our first responder. Yes, yes. Oh, Dr. K in the building. Yes. Oh, Rock said, don't start no stuff, Doc. But yes, the real HU. Listen, I went to HBCU for my master's at ITC. And I don't even know if it's considered a HBCU, but it is a HBCU seminary. So that's how I claim, because I went to St. John's University and ain't nothing HBCU in about St. John's. So anyway, Mother Carolyn said, I will add this to our daily prayer list. See, my girl Smokey, Darlene Jones, already. And let me tell you, my prayer warriors on this line, I call them my prayer warriors because I know that they have prayed for me and there have been miracles in my life. And we will hold you up and speak your name. And you have a village. You have a new village with Tuesdays with Tawana. that's going to love and support you for sure. It's important that we call on community to join us in prayer and for power. And Mother Carolyn, who is an ITC grad as well, said, yes, the ITC is an HBCU. So with that, listen, this is our time. Thank you for rocking with Tuesdays with Tawana. I am Dr. Tad, your host and your curator. And I hope that you can take away something. If you don't take away anything, as we saw in the comments, God is a first responder. So God responds. God responds to our cries. God responds to our joy. God responds to our community. God responds to our needs. God responds to our celebrations. God responds to our joy. It's not always, negative or lack. God is in this with us. We are in this together, because why would God create us in God's image and likeness if God did not want us to be a part of God's community, God's kingdom, God's creation? Women, we some of us create, and some of us create physically by birthing a nation. Others create by being a part of the co-creation and adopting or taking on nieces and whatever it is. We are co-creators, and we are creating amazing things right now because God is responding to the ills that we've had to put up with for so long. But now we got to listen. We got to listen and follow instructions in order for us to be free and liberated from all the ills that are happening. Darlene said, thank you. She said, much love and God bless all. And, oh, yes, of course I will, Rev. I'm coming back to the UAE for sure. I will let you know when my money's right. Reverend Javon, congratulations. I'm so glad to see you on. So glad. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. So listen, we are out. Dr. K says, sorry I was late. Hope to catch you again from the start. God as first responder. Yeah, hold on to that, beloved. And, since Eric lives in Dubai, he's always trying to teach me different words, and I try to learn, but I always mess it up. But one thing that sticks with me is inshallah. Inshallah, if Allah wills it, right? So I see you next Tuesday, 2:00 p.m. Eastern Time, inshallah. If Allah wills it. I love each of you dearly. Thank you so much for joining. And remember, God is a first responder. Talk to your family, your village, and let's do this thing together. Yes, thank you. If God's will, absolutely. We will see each other next Tuesday. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love each of you dearly, and I'll see you next Tuesday. I'm out. Later.